Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Wave. I don't even know what wave this is, but it's number 37. This is the Cobra Officer. I am starting with 37, not 35 or 36, Storm Shadow or Spirit, because E. Rivera at 94, he has started his reviews on this wave, so I didn't want to post the same figure on the same day and take away views from him and stuff. So if it kind of goes staggered, it'll help both of our channels a little bit. But check out E. Rivera. He has already reviewed Spirit, Iron Knife, and Storm Shadow. But here is the Cobra Officer figure. And sorry, at the beginning of the video, I was laughing because I'm in a couple of group chats and there's just some funny stuff going on. So shout out to Billy Moon for always making me laugh. But here we have the Cobra Officer. I'm very excited for this one because this figure is awesome. The Cobra Trooper was my favorite figure of 2019? 2020? What year? 2020. I think Cobra Trooper was my favorite figure of 2020. And this, while not exactly the same, is kind of in the same vein. So there's a lot of cool things with here. The accessories are really awesome. I love the artwork on the package. I believe this is the Tom Whalen artwork, the same that we see with you know what? I don't know if this is Tom Whalen or not. It may not be. It's probably not. I think I'm getting all mixed up and confused now. But I do really like the artwork. I love the colorfulness of it. Looks really cool. But the accessories on this guy are really amazing, so I'm really excited about that. Looking at the back of the package, you see that we do have a different artwork on the back, and silly me, I did not grab another classified series figure to show you the back. Oh, you know what? I do. Duh. Right here next to me. So, oh no, but it's Cobra Island. Son of a bitch. Hold on. There we go. The standard release G.I. Joe figures. This was the previous artwork all the way up until figure 34. And then 35 starts the new artwork here, which includes all of the figures now that we have that has been released or announced so far, with the exception of whoever this character here is in the front. Now, some people think it's the Blind Master or the Hard Master, or some people think it's Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes. I don't really know, you know, who, I can't say for sure who I think that is because I don't really know. Let's brighten that up a bit so you can see. Who do you think this figure is here? I kind of thought it was going to be like Storm Shadow kneeling in front of the Arashikage clan symbol there, but maybe I'm wrong. You guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts. But we do have everybody on there, including the new b.a.t. Alley Vipers have been on there kind of from the beginning, but Spirit has been added. We got a Crocmaster, so everyone is on there, so that is the update. So it took 34 figures, a 35th figure to finally get an update, so we finally got it. But here's the Cobra Officer. Shout out to my buddy, We Are Figures. He hooked me up big time. Dorkside shipped out a few orders. I don't know how many orders, but his was amongst them. His first time ordering from Dorkside Toys, so that was pretty cool. And he ordered the case. They shipped out to him, so he hooked me up big time and gave me the set. So I do have Storm Shadow and Spirit. I will be reviewing those figures in the coming days. But Cobra Officer, so again, big shout out to Anthony. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Enough of that. We'll get into it. We have the insignias for the Cobra Officer. Back of the package there. Oh, I just now realized this as well. This is all cardboard on the side as opposed to plastic. So there is a little bit of a change up too, and that's definitely got to be cheaper to produce like that as well. But enough of that. 37. Let's get the Cobra Officer out of the package. Okay, I present to you the Cobra Officer. So we get a crazy amount of accessories. We have a helmet here. Whoops. We have two magazines, ammo magazines there that will port into the guns, or one of the guns at least. We have here one gun, two gun, three gun. We have a scope for one of them, which is a tiny piece, so be careful with that. We have a knife. And we have a holster for one of the guns that will plug into his back. So that is pretty cool. Looks like we can store most of the weapons, if not all of the weapons, actually on the figure itself. So let's get in for a closer look at the accessories. We'll get a closer look at the figure. Okay, so first we're looking at the holster here that ports into the back of the figure. It's got a nice leather texture to it, which I really, really like. And then we got an imprinted Cobra logo there. It just, again, ports into the back of the figure. So we will put that off and we'll take a look at that a little bit later. As far as the accessories, we have a helmet here, and it's got that V shape there. I don't know if that's exactly what signals himself to be a Cobra Officer. He also has this armband here, similar to what we saw with the, I think the Trooper, right? That came with one of those, different coloring. So we got that there. We have this knife here. So the hilt of the knife is black. We get a nice silver metallic paint for the blade, and that looks pretty good there. We get a couple of different guns. So first we have this handgun here. Oop. And the sculpt of it looks really good. It's got kind of a wide barrel there, in my opinion, but interesting looking handgun. Does have a peg hole there, so if you have some kind of effect piece, you'd be able to port it in there. Next we have this gun here. This is more of a rifle, and this is the one where you have the 2 magazines that will actually port into the gun itself. The sculpt of this looks really nice. You can see there the barrel does have a peg hole in there, so if you use some kind of flash effect or something, you'd be able to do that. But here it looks pretty good. Again, we have 2 magazines, ammo magazines. So we have this one here, and you would just port it in here. I believe this is the correct way it is supposed to look. You guys let me know down in the comments below if that is incorrect. But it fits more snug this way. Like there's no risk of it falling out. When you pull it out, you actually have to use a little bit of force. When you have the magazine in this way, it comes out very, very easily. It's not really going to fall out, but it just, you could tell it's made to fit better this way. But you know, I think that's incorrect. You guys can correct me down in the comments below if it is. I'm not a gun guy, so we have that there. Next we have this rifle here, and this looks pretty good. The only paint we get is a little bit of brown paint there. And then what I thought was a scope isn't really a scope. I would say this is more like a flashlight. And then it's going to peg right into the gun there, like so. So there that is, because there's no way it's a scope if it's all the way to the front of the gun, right? Maybe I'm wrong there, but that just doesn't really make sense to me. But there we go. So that is the last gun. Those are all the accessories for the Cobra officer, and he looks pretty good. Let's get in for a closer look of the figure. One thing that you'll see in this video is the entire time I had forgotten to actually insert the magazine into the rifle. So everything that you're going to see in this review, you will not see the rifle with the magazine, but yes, it does port in there. I just overlooked it and didn't even think about it, so there you go. Okay, so here for a closer look at the Cobra officer, and that looks really good. It looks like we do have the photoreal digital face print there for his eyes and eyebrows and everything, and a little bit of the coloration underneath his eyes. That looks pretty good. This figure, one thing about this, you know, compared to a lot of the other G.I. Joe figures, one of the big criticisms is the use of the overlay vest, which really hinders the articulation. While the Cobra officer does have somewhat of an overlay, as you can see, it's more of a harness type that's very open, so it shouldn't really get in the way of a lot of articulation. Like, you can actually use the ab crunch, which isn't very good, surprisingly, but we'll take a look at that in the articulation portion of the review. But looking at it, damn, he looks really good. We got that armband here, and I think this is what exactly signals him as a Cobra officer and not just a regular like trooper or infantry type of deal. I know a lot of people are going to army build this guy, and yes, of course, but you know, I think there's only going to be so many officers amongst the ranks and whatnot. But anyway, looking at the harness, we get a little bit of gray paint there, gray for the pouch. The rest of it is basically black, as you can see. And I think he shares the arms with the Cobra Trooper and Infantry, which I will be doing side-by-side comparisons a little later. These glove portions here, that is an overlay over the forearm. There is a swivel in there. But yeah, he just looks really good. We get some nice silver paint around the collar there. Blue pants, black knee pads, black boots. A little bit of silver paint in there for the buckle of the boots. Yeah, it just looks really, really good. We get the sheath right there for the knife. We get some weapon storage here on the back of the figure, which is pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and take a look at how he can store all of the different weapons and accessories that he has. Let's take a look. Okay, so let's get the knife. We got the sheath there on his leg, so we're gonna store that there. We got the gun holster here for the handgun. So we're just, whoops. Okay, so gun there with the holster that's going to port onto his back. That's going to be like the long rifle. All right, or are we going to go remove the magazine? No, that's not going to work. See, but if you have this flashlight piece on there, that's not really going to it's not really going to holster nicely. So you got to remove that so you can holster it. I guess that's why they made it removable, right? So you can actually do it that way. Then on the back of the figure, you can store, well, we're going to have to move that out of the way. You can store one magazine clip in there. You should be able to store one magazine clip in there, which I'm having the hardest damn time doing it. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that one off camera. I wonder how. Okay, let me see. Okay, so I have it all stored. It's just tricky trying to do it with one hand, but the magazine does store in that pouch, and then that flashlight does store, that flashlight or scope, whatever it is, does store there. You have the rifle stored on his back, holstered there, and then he can hold on to this gun with that additional magazine is in the weapon ready to go. He is wearing the helmet, so every accessory that he comes with is stored on the figure. No need to worry about everything. It is all there, and damn, it looks really, really good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But we got Cobra Infantry, Cobra Trooper with this Cobra Officer, so let's see all three together. Okay, so here are the three figures. We have the Special Missions Cobra Island Target Exclusive Cobra Trooper number 12. We got the Cobra Infantry number 24, and now the Cobra Officer number 37 in the line. And you can see there's not a huge amount of reuse here. Obviously, there's going to be some that's going to be like from the waist down to the lower leg is going to be all the same. The knee pads are actually the same, but the boots are all different, where the Cobra Officer boots are different from the Infantry and the Trooper. The forearms are different on the Officer, and the hands are different, but the upper arms, the shoulders are the same. The helmet on the Officer is actually different from Trooper and Infantry, whereas those two's got the same. He is a new one, and in fact, the head sculpt is actually new as well. Infantry and Trooper were essentially the same figure, you know, just different paint schemes and deco and things like that. Cobra Officer is actually a lot more different than I had initially thought. I thought a lot of it was going to be the same. I thought the torso was actually going to be the same, but in fact the torso is actually different, which is really cool. The accessories are different as well. You know, Trooper and Infantry shared a lot of the same accessories, not as many for Infantry, but the Cobra Officer actually gets quite a bit of a change up to make him feel very different. Because he actually is. So not only does he have like a different shade of blue to him, the accessories are different, he has a different look. There's a lot more new to this than I had actually thought. I'm a little surprised. You guys let me know down in the comments below if you were shocked by that, but I definitely was. So that is pretty cool. But anyway, let's actually go and kind of remove some of these accessories, and let's take a look at the Cobra Officer's articulation. Okay, so for articulation, with the helmet on, he cannot look up. You can't look up at all. With it on, he can look down somewhat again, but I guess, but taking off the helmet, he can look all the way up. There is the neck is on a hinge, ball hinge, and he can look down that much, and you can actually just pop the damn head right on off. So we'll get that back on there. You get a full rotation in there. You get some pivot going on, and then the neck itself has its own point of articulation, but there's not a whole lot. You can get it to turn a little bit, but it's hard to do with the head popped on there. So just be aware of that. The shoulders, you can get the arms to go out basically straight out like so. Full rotation in there. Upper bicep swivel there. You get a double jointed elbow. These are not pinless, so we do have pins in the elbows, and you're only going to get a little bit more than 90 degrees with that elbow. That badge is not really, the armband is not really getting in the way, so not a whole lot in there. And one ugly thing is you get that blue pin right in that black. That kind of sucks there. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. The left, you actually have the vertical hinge. It's kind of hard to work, but you do get the vertical hinge there. But the right hand has the standard horizontal hinge, which is tricky because, I mean, it's a gut. They're both trigger finger hands, but, you know, the vertical is the better wrist to use there. So looking at the figure, we have the ab crunch, so we can get some use of it. So you can bend down that much, which is a little... if we really push it, you can get them to go down that much, which is more than other figures that have the overlay vest that just completely hinders the articulation altogether. Going back, you get that much, so that is pretty good. You do have a waist swivel at the waist, but it is a waist ball, so it doesn't work as good, and it can get a little bit tricky. I know there should be a little bit of a pivot in there, but it's hard to work, so you're only going to get him to pivot to the left that much, pivot to the right that much, so not a whole lot. It just feels really stiff, and I don't want to force it too much, but you can get him to turn. See, cracking. You can get him to turn a little bit there. Legs go out that far apart. Again, G.I. Joe figures do have the drop down legs there. He can kick forward very high, which is great. It goes back a little bit. You get an upper thigh cut in there, double jointed knee like so. So on the right, you're only going to get that much bend because you got the sheath. I pinched my thumb. Got the sheath in there. The right leg, excuse me, that was the left. Right leg, you can get that much bend at the knee. You have a swivel at the boot. Foot hinges all the way down. You get some, not really a whole lot of hinge going up there. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So better articulation that we see with most G.I. Joe figures because the no overlay vest, the harness piece is there, but it doesn't hinder a whole lot. It does hinder some going forward. Back, it doesn't really do, doesn't really stop any movement, so that is pretty good there. So better than the other, the Trooper and the Infantry, but you know, some figures, I think like Snake Eyes, definitely got a lot more. Okay, and that is my review of the Cobra Officer. Another solid hit by Hasbro in the G.I. Joe Classified Series team. Storm Shadow is a very exciting one. Spirit looks awesome. The Cobra Officer is one that I think is going to surprise a lot of folks. You know, Storm Shadow is getting all the attention. Even Spirit is, because you have Freedom in there, packed in there as well. Lots of great things with both of those figures. But man, the Cobra Officer is definitely a sleeper that I think nobody or not enough people are paying attention to. The accessories are awesome. The interchangeable magazines, the removable light or scope or whatever it is, all the accessories, the fact that he can store everything, have everything on the figure at one time is amazing. You know, not all the figures can do that. You know, sure, Trooper and Infantry were able to, but not all of them can actually do that. So it is really awesome when we can do something like that. So definitely another solid win by Hasbro. But you guys let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the Cobra Officer figure? Are you excited for it? Do you think more highly of it now that you know what it all comes with and what it is all about? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.